Hello and welcome to the Q30 newscast. I'm Brenna Oracoli.
And I'm Victoria Saha.
On September 11th, Quinnipiac held a 9/11 memorial on its main campus. The memorial was held in the evening by Religious Life and Residential Life. It was to remember and honor those who lost their lives 15 years ago. The memorial featured campus religious figures who spoke and led the group in prayer, as well as a Quinnipiac music professor who performed his own piano composition. The memorial ended with students lighting candles and raising them to the sky. With the new school year comes a new Quinnipiac logo. The new logo presents a new font and a lowercase u at the beginning of the university. Michael Brennan took a look at the changes that have taken place.
For years, Quinnipiac University has worn its name in bold letters and flashy colors. This year, however, they decided to reinvent themselves with a more modern look.
A new logo was created this summer that changed the font and makes the word university lowercase. It also places much more emphasis on the school's blue color than its gold color. This is part of a general rebranding strategy Quinnipiac has been attempting since last semester. The school conducted research through focus groups and surveys, trying to figure out what students want. Keith Rhodes, Vice President of Brand Strategy and Integrated Communications, says that we knew that we needed to update our brand identity to fit our new strategy. We were looking dated. But Junior Avsha Kazan doesn't like the new logo, saying that it can make our school look unprofessional.
I know they were saying they want to try to make Quinnipiac like a one-word thing, sort of like how Yale or Harvard is. So I get that they're trying to do that, but I feel like if you make the lowercase, people don't take you as seriously.
Junior Mikey McKinley, however, likes the new logo and understands why they're trying to change their image.
I like the new logo. I know that there's been a lot of backlash about it, but I personally love Quinnipiac, and I definitely see their mission to kind of rebrand us and get us more on the map, and I appreciate it.
Overall, Rhodes' mission is to differentiate the school from other universities and put Quinnipiac on the map, saying, quote, "We can't do that if we look like everybody else." I'm Michael Brennan, reporting for the Q30 newscast.
With the recent backlash over the lowercase u in the logo, a student has started a petition on change.org to revise the new logo, and it includes in a letter to administration that has over 600 signatures. The petition also includes multiple comments from current and former students. A Quinnipiac sorority is hosting its very own Confidence Week. Kappa Delta sponsored the first ever Trash Your Insecurities program, where students wrote their insecurities on a piece of paper, crumpled it up, and put it in a trash can. Students received insomnia cookies for participating. The Confidence events will be held all this week.
And when we come back, Relay for Life took place on Mount Carmel campus this past weekend.
And there have been some big changes in the Cafe Q this year.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Pause.
In the end, we're here to win the championship this year.
Jess Fontaine now has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number one, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is. It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
If you walked into Cafe Q, you might have been surprised to see some more changes. The CAF has added a few new stations and changed its complete setup. Chartwell's added an all-day breakfast station where students can order omelets, pancakes, home fries, and other breakfast foods at any time of the day. They also added a Latin cuisine station. Students can get burrito bowls, taco bowls, or a salad variation. Lastly, they moved the cold drinks and expanded their allergen section for people with food allergies.
Between Taylor Swift's latest breakup and the new Apple launch, there's a lot going on in the entertainment world.
Kayla Heavey takes a look. Kayla.
Everyone knows Beyonce's famous line, "If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it." And that's exactly what one man did. This past Saturday night, Beyonce and her dancers were performing in Missouri. Instead of Beyonce taking the mic, she handed it over to dance captain Ashley Everett, soon-to-be fiance. During the famous hit Single Ladies, John Silver got down on one knee and asked her to marry her. She said yes, of course, and encouraged the dancers to continue with the show right away. Later that night, she took to Twitter to confirm their engagement. Looks like she's no longer a single lady. Olympic swimmer Ryan Lochte was all over the news after an incident at the Rio Olympics. But instead of swimming, Lochte is trying something new, dancing. He was cast alongside partner Cheryl Burke for the 23rd season of Dancing with the Stars. After their Monday night performance, two protesters started running towards the stage, wearing anti-Lochte t-shirts. ABC quickly cut to commercial break, not showing the protesters on air. They were arrested the night of the incident, but have soon been released. And it's that time of year again when Apple releases their new iPhone products. The iPhone 7 was available for pre-order, and with the new updates comes the software updates. iOS 10 comes with a new layout for the iMessages, allowing people to add stickers, effects, or written messages to their conversations. The new update also comes with a home app that allows you to turn on lights or even unlock your doors. But the new update was causing some issues for iPhone users. The phones became unusable, and the only way to get it to work was to connect it to iTunes. Apple later said that the problem was fixed and it's safe to again update those iPhones. And finally, Taylor Swift has broken up with yet another boyfriend. This time, it's Tom Hiddleston. The two have gotten very close over the summer, almost right after she broke up with her former boyfriend, Calvin Harris. They ended on good terms, though, unlike the breakup with Harris. Taylor Swift has recently been spending time with friends like Gigi Hadid and also working on some new music. Taylor Swift may be coming out with a new album in the near future. I sure hope so. That's all I have for this week's entertainment news. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kayla.
And now we go to Kirby Paulson outside for the weather.
There's storms are brewing for the weekend. I'll have your full weather forecast coming up after this break.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Pause.
In the end, we're here to win the championship this year.
Jess Fontaine now has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number one, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is. It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Bobcat Nation, this is Kirby Paulson. I'm here for weather. Let's jump right into it. We'll look at tonight's forecast. We're looking at about 56 degrees, maybe a couple scattered thunderstorms here and there, a couple of storms moving in through the tri-state area. A little bit breezy tonight, but let's take a look at tomorrow. It's going to be 73, sunny and dry. A little bit of wind here and there, but again, dry day. Take a hike up the Giant. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Take a look at the 7-day outlook. Thursday and Friday, it's going to be nice and dry. The dry weather is going to stay until Friday. Into Saturday, it's going to get a little more humid and moist. But again, Saturday is the day for Fall Fest, so make sure you get out there. Sunday, it's going to it might get a little wet and wild. We're really not sure. It looks like we're going to have some scattered thunderstorms and possibly some isolated ones as well. We're looking at about a 50 to 60% chance of storms. If you're headed to the Red Sox game at Fenway or the Mets game in New York, bring a rain jacket because it could get a little wet out there. Monday, you might have some isolated storms in the morning, but Tuesday and Wednesday, we're back to 80 degrees and beautiful and dry. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kirby. Student loans can be a hassle. Our very own Andrew Badillo spoke to students about their emotions towards their student loans.
Student loans, the two words some college students dread the most.
I'm going to be paying bills till I'm gray.
They suck. Recent studies suggest a bright future for students with loans, as reports show the cost of college has dropped around $500 this past year. But what reports do not include is the fact that colleges are getting more expensive, especially private schools like Quinnipiac University.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm coming out of school with a whole lot of debt.
Mike Chulo is a senior accounting major at Quinnipiac and is one of many students weighed down by the heavy burden of student loans. Despite his situation, Chulo is confident he will be able to survive his student loan battle.
So back when in high school, when I figured out that I wanted to do accounting, one of the biggest things was that I knew that the accounting field, the jobs are pretty stable, once you have one. And like I said, it's not entirely too difficult to find one.
And careful planning is one tip that student loan expert Mark Kantrowitz has for college students. He also suggests students apply for financial aid and spend their money wisely. But one strategy Kantrowitz doesn't talk about that some students are utilizing is support from their parents.
Parents have also offered to help me, They said I can choose pretty much any school I want since they'll be able to help pay off some of the debt.
They've helped me out paying it what they could now.
Kantrowitz says students should aim to owe less than their starting salary at their first job out of school. He says this will ensure students will be able to pay off loans in 10 years or less. In Hamden, Andrew Badillo, Q30 News.
And Carrie brings us the latest on world news.
Last Saturday, Iran threatened to shoot down 2 U.S. Navy aircraft flying just inside the Strait of Hormuz while performing routine operations in international airspace. The Navy U.S. Poseidon, carrying a crew of 9 while EP-3 Ares, approximately 24 Iranian military consequences. U.S. military planes ignored the warning and continued their route. According to international maritime law, Iran's waters reached 12 miles into the sea, but Iranian officials claimed the airspace in which the U.S. military planes were flying were dangerously close to the Iranian air territory, with some officials referring to the boundary as Iran's black line, even after receiving 3 separate calls, all of which used threatening language. U.S. crews remained calm despite the violent nature of the warnings, due to the fact that the planes were out of the narrow range in which ground missiles could destroy aircrafts. U.S. Fleet spokesman Commander Bill Urban referred to the incident as unprofessional but not unsafe. This is the latest incident of recent shows of aggression by Iran. Last month, a Navy destroyer as well as a Navy patrol boat were harassed by Iranian vessels. On a sad note, former Israeli Prime Minister Shimon Peres suffered a stroke and was hospitalized on Tuesday. Medical reports initially claimed that Perez was in stable condition, but most recent reports indicate that he has been sedated and put on a respirator, showing little signs of improvement. Perez, one of the founding fathers of the modern state of Israel, is an influential figure around the world. He is best known for his work in founding Israel in 1948 during a hostile period in the territory's time. He shares the Nobel Peace Prize with former Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin and Yasser Arafat for their 1993 signing of the Oslo Accords, which brought an agreement between Israeli government and the Palestine Liberation Organization. Perez served as the ceremonial president of Israel from 2007 to 2014 and remained active in the nonprofit organization known as the Perez Center for Peace, an organization that promotes tolerance, innovation, and reconciliation. Mr. Perez is 93 years old. Despite some minor altercations, the ceasefire agreement between the United States and Russia appears to be holding. Secretary of State John Kerry, who orchestrated the agreement, said the ceasefire is the result of lengthy negotiations between both the United States and Russia and may take some time to play out. According to Kerry, there will undoubtedly be reports of a violation here and there, but that is the nature of the beginning of ceasefires almost always. The ceasefire has already led to a reduction of violence in the majority of Syrian provinces, which will allow time for desperately needed humanitarian aid to arrive. However, a spokesman for the United Nations for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has cautioned that people and supplies will not be sent there until assurance that the safety and aid convoys will be upheld, as well as the safety of the receivers. The terms of this ceasefire have not been made public, although Russia claims to seek the reveal of them, stating they have nothing to hide. In Germany, all eyes are looking up as they're looking to put more women into space through a $30 million crowdfunding campaign expected to begin next year. Project initiator Claudia Kessler has dreamed of being in space since the age of 4 and hopes to share in a part of a history 50 years later as Germany attempts to launch the first female astronaut to the International Space Station in 2020. Under the Die Astronauten project, 400 applications have been received, and the list has already been narrowed down to 140 women. Among those are firefighters, engineers, and researchers. All finalists will be expected to undergo extensive psychological and physical testing as part of the selection process. The launch is expected to last 1 week, enough time for all experiments to be conducted. Germany has already launched 11 men into space, but not a woman. The woman will be chosen in 2017. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Carrie. When we come back, we will have more information about a favorite QU event.
And MJ Barad will have a summer sports recap. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Pause.
In the end, we're here to win the championship this year.
Jess Fontana has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number one, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is? It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's. Good evening and welcome to Sports Pause.
In the end, we're here to win the championship this year.
Jess Fontana has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number one, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is? It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
Quinnipiac sophomores were presented with a new housing option. The Assistant Director of Residential Life, Michael Guthrie, emailed sophomores on Sunday about the potential switch. He gave students living in the village Forest Triples the option of moving to York Hill campus. There is already an overflow of sophomores on York Hill due to the lack of housing availability on main campus.
The annual Quinnipiac Fall Fest concert is taking place this weekend. Quinnipiac's Student Programming Board is hosting Time Flies as this year's performer, and the opening act, is Hey Days. The concert will take place in South Lot with food trucks, giveaways, and a free photo booth. Make sure to follow Q30 Entertainment for exclusive behind-the-scenes looks of the show.
So, Fall Fest.
I know, I'm
What do you
so
think of it?
excited. I'm so thrilled that it's time flies. They're switching it up with not doing a country concert this year, so I think it'll be a little bit different.
See, I refuse to attend this year because I love country. All 3 years I've attended because they're country artists.
Wow, I wonder if other students will follow suit.
And while we were away, the Quinnipiac Bobcats still played.
MJ Barrett has the latest updates for QU Sports. MJ?
Thanks, guys. It's been a long while since we last brought you some Quinnipiac sports news, so we have a lot to catch up on. A lot happened over the summer, from coaches signing contract extensions to student athletes getting drafted. Check out our website at Q30television.com to stay up to date with all the off-season news. For now, let's check out some of the fall teams on campus. A big-name Quinnipiac sports team made a big move. Becca Main and her field hockey team joined the Big East Conference this season. The Bobcats have played 6 games so far this season, all of which are non-conference games. Quinnipiac currently sits at 0-6, but the real history will be made this upcoming weekend when the team plays its first ever Big East Conference game. The Bobcats will host Georgetown University for the inaugural matchup. Like rugby, the field hockey team is being affected by the new field construction here on campus. Therefore, all home games for the Bobcats will be played at Yale, just down the road in New Haven. The defending champion Quinnipiac rugby team has begun its season and quest for back-to-back titles. The Bobcats schedule this season features only one home game, as I said before, due to the field renovations. The first game of the season was a rematch of the 2015 championship game. Quinnipiac took on Army West Point, and this time around, well, the result stayed the same. The Bobcats asserted their dominance once again, rattling off three straight second-half tries and defeating the Black Knights 32-19. This was not the only game on the radar for the Bobcats, as they took on American Intercollegiate College on Friday. Becky Carlson's squad took care of business up in the Berkshires of Western Mass, stomping AIC by a final score of 44-0. The win moves the defending national champions to 2-0 on the year. The next game for the Bobcats is this weekend against Vermont. Quinnipiac volleyball is out to its best start in years. The Bobcats won 5 of their first 6 games to begin the year, surpassing their win total from last season. Just last weekend, the Bobcats welcomed Fairleigh Dickinson to Burt Concourt. Here's a little bit of the action. In the second set there, that's Allison Lee sending a kill down the right line. The Bobcats took the first 2 sets. Here's the third. Fairleigh Dickinson takes this set, so after the break, we're coming out for the 4th. And Kat Miller with the serve there, and Hubat, Kat Miller again on the dig. Maria Panzari with the set, and Natalie Aleko, the freshman, pops that one over. Match point now for the Bobcats. Panzari again, and Hubat, Natalie Aleko again. She pops that one just over the net. Fairleigh Dickinson thinks they dig the ball. They do not, though. The ball hit the ground. The Bobcats win in 4 sets. After an impressive showing at the Providence Fire Classic, Chris Saplinski's squad now sits at 8-5 on the year. Just this past week, Maria Panzari and Elizabeth Kloos picked up MAC honors in the conference. Well, guys, that's going to do it for sports. A lot more QU athletics action to come, so make sure you continue to check back for more information. But for now, I'm MJ Baird. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, MJ. Our executive producer, Joel Vanner, had trouble finding a parking spot this morning.
He took us along with him for the ride. Here's what we have for you.
You know, I have never met someone who found a parking spot in Hilltop on their first try. I consider myself a record setter, so maybe that'll be me. Let's pick up some friends. Danielle, Kayla, Tag. Trying to park my car.
Oh, such a struggle.
So what are you doing?
Just chilling. It's a beautiful day on campus.
It's great to be trapped inside of a car trying to find a parking spot in Hilltop. No.
I saw in Texas.
No.
There's Maine.
No.
Mass?
No.
New Jersey.
I have a better idea. Let's put my second parking decal on.
Oh. Okay. Will that help you get in a spot, though?
Never know until you try, right? That's what college is all about. parking permits. That means I have 2 parking spots, correct?
Correct.
Incorrect. That's not what that means. Don't you go here?
Joel, I think it's time to go to York Hill. It's gonna be okay. We can always try another day.
Well, that will do it for tonight's newscast. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and subscribe to Q30 TV on YouTube.
For more information about our shows, visit Q30television.com.
I'm Victoria Saha.
And I'm Brenna Oracoli. Good night.